Beautiful to love, beautiful to trust. Above is like below, and all of it's enough. Beautiful to love,
Hello
beautiful
everyone,
to trust.
welcome to another video of Nobody's Tribe. Today I am going to talk about life no longer satisfies me. This is a predicament everybody runs into at some point. I don't like making generalized statements, as in like this applies to everyone, but I think at some point in everybody's life we run into a point where life no longer fulfills me. Excuse me. Some people would say that's a very bad or negative thing. If life is no longer fulfilling me, what's the point? What am I striving for? I'm eating food, I'm sleeping, I'm cleaning, or whatever it is you do, working. For what? Because you are not fulfilled. You are not satisfied. I could give you all sorts of spiritual sunshine and rainbows, like, oh, find your passion, and quit your job and find your passion and start riding horses into the sunset every day, or play your violin, or whatever it is you do. Those are great things. But if you are seeking fulfillment through an activity, you will be surely disappointed. The activity itself may vibrate to the tune of your life path, and that's great. That's the reason that activity feels very good to you, and you can tap into that and you can allow it to take you. But if you are trying to find fulfillment through your passion, there's going to be points where you are doing your passion and then the emptiness comes and the feeling of, oh my gosh, this is not fulfilling me. It's wearing off. I've grown tolerant to my passion because it may not be what you thought, or you may not get what you want out of it. It crashes and burns. And there you are stuck again with the emptiness. And I did this tragically many times with follow your passion, follow your passion. It's all about the passion. But in order to be a fully integrated conscious awareness or person, one has to get to a place where they're no longer seeking. And I remember reading ideas like this years ago, 5 years ago, and saying like, how could I get to a place where I'm no longer seeking? Like, that is the epitome of my consciousness at the time, was seeking knowledge, information, and understanding. How could I get to a place of no longer seeking? It ties into my last video. If you haven't seen it, it's my most recent video on here called Spiritual Failure Using the Emptiness. So us as spiritual people, or if you're not very spiritual and you're just watching this because you liked the title, I understand that as well. So if you have all of these ideas and passions that come from within, and these ideas of helping people, or making music, or starting a business, or all of these things, and they come with a very intense, let me move the camera. They come with a very intense vibration and a motivation, and you feel like you must do them, you need to do them, And in your deepest places of depression, you always go back to the passion. And whether it's a spiritual passion of helping others, or teaching, or writing a book, whatever your passion is, because of the intensity of it, often our minds will get to the impetus that we must accomplish it at all costs to, like, save us from, you know, the feeling of emptiness and the failure of our lives on the plane of doing a job we don't care about or doing things we don't care about. That's all well and good in the beginning stages of uncovering your independent truth that is not going along with what other people wanted for you or what the world told you to do. That is great for those stages, because the intensity of the wanting of that conclusion, the wanting of that passion to manifest, breaks you out of those things, because it just becomes obvious what you would like to do. But as you move along the spiritual path, you will come to a place where life no longer fulfills you. You may or may not be at that place right now, but if you're at the place where life no longer fulfills you, you may be thinking you are failing spiritually, or you think that you are on the wrong path, or that you messed up long ago and it detoured your path, and now you're lost in the illusion once again. And I will tell you, you're not lost. You're not lost in the emptiness and the no satisfaction. You will be as lost as long as you hold on to that feeling of no fulfillment. You will be lost as long as you choose to be lost. For the hardest thing to do, you'll be lost as long as you use the feeling of no purpose as an excuse to no longer love yourself, and an excuse to no longer feel safe. And one may say, how can I feel safe when I do not feel good? I'm constantly feeling negative emotions. I have stress. I have this, I have that, I have all of these things. I cannot give you just a plain simple definition, because the reality that I've discovered within that allows all of these things, the content of life, stresses and all of that, to become so quiet compared to the inner stillness. So I can't just give you something like, oh, just be present and yeah, everything's going to be cool. That may be the case. On some level, that may be the case. But I don't want to give you simple statements you've heard many times before. My goal is not to teach the same exact spiritual teaching that everybody's teaching, because my experience shows me that I can turn those simple phrases into something very small and belittle them. So it is the key of non-resistance, but it's a little more than that. There is a surrender, a fully letting go of the need to control outcomes and the need to manifest your passion or whatever it is you want to do that will be a fulfilling life for you. If you are at a place where you are feeling depressed and resentful of yourself or resentful of other people, and you're just like, and so then you go to your passion, and then your passion pulls you and saves you out of that feeling of just not being happy with yourself, you're in a place of seeking fulfillment through content. And if you continue to do that, you are creating a place where suffering can manifest. You're setting yourself up for the opposite. For when that passion and activity no longer fulfills you, who are you then? Who are you Zen? So the goal, well, there's no goal exactly. Through the place of the feeling of no purpose and not being motivated and not being energized, the only thing one can do is surrender fully, and you can say, here I am sitting here, there is the bad feeling, there is the feeling of no purpose, and I am sitting, or I'm standing, or I'm waiting in line. There it is. And some may say that just sounds so boring. We're not doing anything about our bad feelings. We must do something about it. What are we going to do about it? But there becomes a place where there is nothing that can be done about it, because if you're watching this, I'm assuming you're at the point where you're feeling like life is not fulfilling you. You can go eat some sugar and some chocolate or some ice cream or whatever it is, and you will know the second you receive that delicacy, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, you know that there's still that emptiness. And so there is a place where action no longer fills that void, where in the past actions would fill the void for a little while, maybe a few hours or whatever it is. You got a new car, you got a new house, you got a new girlfriend or boyfriend, and that hole just seems like it's gone. The point isn't to fill it anymore. You're at this place of not being fulfilled fully by life anymore. Sorry. And there must be a place within you, if you truly want peace, where you will say, here I am. You could, if it helps, you don't feel your body, feel your legs, your feet, and move up of feeling your whole body. Here I am. There is the experience. I'm not just saying to separate yourself from the experience, but there has to be a place of non-resistance. And if anything comes up, such as, I'm not doing enough, my life is falling apart, I'm a failure, I'm weak, I'm this, I'm that. Again, here I am, there is the judgments. Here I am, there is the judgments, there is the failure, there is the whatever you label it. And this is not the eternity of your life as just being, okay, my life has failed, so I think I'm just going to be present and watch, it fail. You get to a point where you no longer are invested in outcomes. Your strong cravings and desires turn into preferences. I would prefer to be doing this right now, but I am okay and content at where I'm at, because the spiritual journey makes us extremely sensitive to a lot of things. So it becomes very abrasive to be around any type of thing that's negative. And so we kind of get scared of negative people and negative things. I guess I'm saying the point of this is that the journey is bringing you to a place where nothing fulfills you on purpose. So don't be scared that you're lost in Neverland. I'm here, I'm throwing a life raft in. You're not lost. You're not lost out there forever. Even though I think a lot of people would want to be lost in Neverland. I had to move because the sun was beating down and it's quite hot here in Southern California. So, getting to that place of no satisfaction in life is, I don't want to say temporary. Yes, temporary. And it may return. It may disappear and return, where you will all of a sudden have moments of exaltation and laughter and all this stuff, but then again you go back to that empty, and you're like, okay, I'm not. If somebody were to ask me if I am happy, In the past, happiness was always something I was seeking, and it was always just beyond my reach. If I could achieve and do and find and seek, and if I can listen to one more teaching or one more something, I could find happiness. And if somebody asks me if I'm happy now, it almost sounds like an absurd question. Am I happy? Like, I am what I am. I experience happy. I experience feelings of tiredness and fatigue. But they don't tell me whether or not I'm happy or I'm sad. They are just experiences, and here I am, being myself. And some may find that state to be incomprehensible, because in the past I found that when teachers were talking to me, I would think like what they have is not something that can be accomplished. They're freaking superhuman or something. I did not understand awareness. I did not understand being fully consciously present, because I had my sense of self invested in things and experiences and other people wanting to be around me and all sorts of things. But again, if you're in the place right now of compression and the feeling like nothing is working and nothing is satisfying, this is the late stage of spiritual awakening, if you call it that, the spiritual understanding. It is the late stages, for you must integrate and become who you are through the experience. It's not a superhuman feat. It's not. It is your natural state, and you could get, very excited about things, and you can actually have a feeling of sadness about things. But at no point could you say, I'm not at peace, or you lose your investment in content. Because imagine if every day that it was raining outside, I would choose to not feel good. It's raining outside. It's going to be a bad day. Oh, it's sunny. It's a good day. Who's controlling your happiness? You're not. In fact, you could be very uncomfortable. My stomach hurts. I have a headache. And here I am, sitting here. Stomach hurts, have a headache. There's the headache. There's the stomach ache. Here I am. To turn that into a personal problem of suffering, and you actually will connect with all of your memories of suffering and all the other things you feel victimized by, and it will become a giant concept through time of a suffering person. And instead of it just being, I'm standing here with a stomach ache and a headache, there it is, here I am. And once you get to this place of non-resistance, of being at one with your experience and no longer demanding your experience change to suit your beliefs about what should be, because what should be is irrelevant compared to what is. If you become one with the isness of life, regardless of if you think you should spiritually be feeling 100%, every single day, 24 hours a day, you should be feeling 100% and feeling as if there's rainbows shooting out of your eyes. Regardless if you feel that way, understand that your experience will do whatever it needs to get you to wake up and embody all that you are and all that you will be, which is the one present moment awareness that is beyond happiness and sadness. And if you do this, your life will begin to reflect the acceptance and reflect a more harmonious state. But remember that once you get to this place, you're going to have certain life themes come up in your experience. I'll probably do a different video on life themes and vibrational density being held within the body. So don't be alarmed if you are doing this peace thing and, you know, being more present and understanding that you have to reside in the emptiness, and then you're starting to feel good, you're starting to feel at peace, and you're getting it, and then all of a sudden you have people lash out at you and evoke the most intense emotions you had no idea were even stored in you. Don't be alarmed and think that you're failing. It's not that you've messed up and that's why that's happening. It is you're attracting situations to you at a very rapid rate. You're moving between realities at a very rapid rate. I keep saying wait. And in doing that, you're basically, by holding that space, you're vibrationally catapulting yourself through a bunch of themes simultaneously, one after the other, bam, 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 bam. And so you're going to get poignant emotions with people, especially people that are close to you. You're going to be intense reactions that evoke in you and evoke in them exactly what needs to be healed. And once again, embody this space and don't seek to find your fulfillment in life content, because if you're trying to find fulfillment in life content that is very intense and not pleasurable, then you're going to allow your consciousness to dive down vibrationally because of content, once again. And the longer that you hold on to content needing to fulfill you, the longer you're going to have content not fulfill you. The epitome of the journey is not to have all the content fulfill you 24 hours a day, because it doesn't, once it doesn't need to anymore, then all of the content will start to become fulfilling, a good majority of it. It's not like you're never going to walk next to somebody that's being mean or something. It may happen. But at that point, the momentum of your movement, oops, somebody's calling. The momentum of your movement in peace and in presence and in conscious awareness will be so intense moving forward that anything that is negative or whatever will be irrelevant and will kind of just slide right off. If any one of you would like to talk to me one-on-one or email me a question that I could possibly do as a video, I feel like I get a lot more information from myself when people ask specific questions. And so if you want to do that, or if you want to chat one-on-one online, you can email me at nobodiestribe@gmail.com. I love you all. Safe travels in the now.